Hey boys, it's HarmNone. Today we're going to be customizing the Grotti Itali GTO in Grand Theft Auto Online. I am on my expanded and enhanced edition character. I'm in my auto shop garage right now. I've had the Itali GTO on this character since literally episode 3, I believe it was, about the mod. I won it in the LS car meet through the prize ride, and we're finally customizing it today, almost a year later. So anyways, the Itali GTO is of course on sale this week, which is why I decided to customize this car today. So that's why we're doing it. We're gonna go ahead and hop into this customization right away. I love the Itali GTO, one of my favorite cars in the entire game. Unfortunately, no HSW upgrade for this thing, so we're doing all of the customization in the auto shop today. So starting off with the armor, we're gonna go all the way up on that as usual. For the brakes, we gotta go race, obviously, on those. For the bumpers, we do have front and rear options for this car. Now, I am kind of thinking that I want to go for a race build with this car because I don't really have a race car for the sports class on the Xbox Series X. I don't do much racing on here, but if I ever was to, I would want the Itali GTO because I love this car. So I'm thinking I kind of want to go for some sort of race modifications on this. I'm just not sure exactly which ones I want to go for. I do kind of like the look of the primary race kit. That way I can have some primary color on the bottom there. However, I also kind of want to try out the secondary race kit. So we're gonna go secondary because I want to see if there's anything that we can do there. So for the rear diffuser, we can go for the primary, secondary, the primary lipped or the secondary lipped diffuser. I do like the look of the lipped, so we're gonna go secondary lipped on this thing for sure. The engine, we can change the engine block on this thing. We can make it carbon if we want to, or the stock color. I think I'm gonna leave it alone, honestly. For the engine upgrade though, obviously we are going to max that out. For the exhaust on this car, we do have a few different options here. I personally really like the look of the triple circle exhausts here, so we're going to go for those ones. Hood catches, since it's a race car, I am going to add the modern hood latches, but other than that, I don't really like them too much. For the hood itself, we can keep the stock hood. We can remove the vents, secondary vent remove as well. We have the carbon vent remove hood, the sports vents, the central sports vents, the carbon sport vents. We have the race setup hood. I really kind of like the look of that, honestly. Got the vanity race hood as well, the competition hood. Competition hood looks absolutely crazy. I do kind of like that. Or of course we have the carbon competition hood as well. I want to go for the regular competition hood, I think. I really like the look of that, so let's go for it. For the lights, we are going to go xenon. Neon kit, I have heard that this does increase the traction, so I am going to be putting it on. Otherwise I typically wouldn't, but I have heard that that does increase the traction of these cars. So somebody was asking me in my comments where I heard that. I've heard that on several different videos on YouTube, talking about, like, you know, the racing cars and stuff. I've seen that in my comment section. I've seen it all over the place, kind of. So I'm just putting it on my cars. I don't know 100% if it actually does do something, but from what I hear, apparently it does do something. So I don't know. That's why I'm putting it on my cars. I am really liking some of these livery options. I like the classic race stripes. The motor market livery as well is really cool. We have the alternate motor market livery as well. The competition motor market, that is a really nice livery as well. I got the modern art Grotti. This is what my car actually came with. Not a big fan of it. We got the digital camo Stronzo. Now this typically would have digital camo on it if my color choice wasn't white on white, so you could, you know, usually see that. We also have the branded racing livery. That is pretty nice looking too. Alternate branded racing. We got the Pegasus concierge livery as well. I really like this one. I think that looks super sick. We got the urban racer livery as well. That is pretty cool too. I got the ego chaser livery, and back to none. I want to go for the Pegasus concierge. I really like that livery. I think that looks super clean, so we're going for that. For the mirrors, I want to go for the secondary mirrors. For the plate, I want to go yellow on black, I believe. For the colors of this car, now I would kind of like to go for a frost white for the primary, and for the secondary color, like I've done with some of my other Grotti cars that you guys have seen. For example, like if you guys saw the Turismo Classic customization, I kind of want to just see what this looks like with a ultra blue as the secondary color. I feel like with this livery, it doesn't super work. maybe we actually take the livery off, or we can try to color match that yellow. Maybe we can do that. I feel like it's, is it a race yellow? I feel like it's a race yellow, or that's as close as we can make it. So let's go for a race yellow just to try to match up with the livery. I think it looks pretty good. For the interior of the car, we could go, ooh, you know what? I almost feel like a shadow silver would look kind of mean in here. Yeah, I do like the look of that a lot, actually. I think that looks pretty nice. So we'll keep that. For the roof, we can go primary on it. We can also go carbon if we want to. We can go for the secondary sports roof, the carbon sports roof, the secondary race roof, carbon race roof, the secondary roof scoop as well, and the double roof scoop too. I'm thinking I kind of like the double roof scoop or the secondary roof scoop. Both of them look pretty good. They kind of mess with the livery a little bit, which kind of makes me a little mad, but it's not the end of the world. I think that we are gonna go, do we go big or do we go for the two small ones? I think we go for the double roof scoop. I kind of like the look of that. Let's do that. For the skirts, we can go secondary, we can go primary alternate, secondary alternate, or carbon, or alternate carbon. Skirt as well. Alternate carbon looks pretty cool, but I do want some more yellow there, so I'm gonna go for the secondary alternate skirt, I think. Yeah, I like the look of that. Let's go for that. For the spoiler, we can go for the discrete spoiler, the carbon street wing, the alternate street wing, the two-tiered wing. That is a pretty cool wing, actually. I do like that. We have the race wing, the alternate race wing as well, primary struts, or the primary race wing. The primary race wing kind of works. I feel like that does look really good. The alternate race wing is cool. The race wing and the two-tiered wing is really cool. I think I want to go two-tiered though. I feel like it adds more yellow and it just is kind of a more interesting shape. So we're going to go for that wing. I like it a lot. Suspension, we are going to slam this thing down with race suspension. For the transmission, this car does have a super transmission. So, you know, we got to go for that for sure. For the turbo tuning, let's add it on to the car. For the wheels, these wheels are part of the track category, I do believe. I believe they are the modern mesh. No, they're not. Which one are they? They're one of these. Is it the forged? Yeah, it's the forged star, which I usually cannot get because I'm not a high enough LS car meet level. So I kind of want to keep these rims because I can't even get them usually. So I think we're going to leave them on the car. For the color of the wheels though, I want to try to match it up with the black that's on the car. I would say it's more of a gray, honestly. I think the anthracite black or carbon black are going to be like the best options for that. Maybe even black steel. Honestly, I feel like black steel is pretty close. Yeah, we'll go black steel on that, I think. For the tire design, of course, we could put something on here. Maybe we do the atomic in yellow. I say why not? You know, we're going for the race build. Let's do it. Bulletproof tires, you gotta add those on. For the windows, I would tint them out typically, but this is a race car, so I'm actually gonna leave them untinted. I think that this car actually looks really great though. I'm super happy with how this has turned out. We're gonna go outside and do a sound test on the car as well as a full review on it as well. So let's hop outside here and see what's up. This thing is looking super mean. I really like how this turned out. I'm super happy with this. Okay, let's take a listen to the exhaust on this car.
What the hell is that?
I know that the Itali GTO sounds good despite me not even being able to hear it right there because my headphones aren't plugged into my Xbox, but I know that this car sounds, you know, at least pretty decent. I am a big fan of the Itali GTO in general, so I will start this review off by saying that I am very familiar with this car as well. I've driven it a lot on PC. However, this is one of very few times that I've driven it on console actually, so this is going to be interesting to see how this car actually behaves on console versus on PC. The inputs are a little different. If you're on PC, if you're steering, it's either 0% or 100%. So on console, obviously you can steer a little less than that, as well as throttle inputs. You can do, you know, half throttle on this or whatever, but on PC it's either 0 or 100. So it is a little bit different, but the car, I must say, it does feel very nice so far. I'm a big fan of the Itali GTO. Even if this car handled terribly, I mean, I'd let you guys know, but I would still absolutely love the car. And luckily, I do know that it is the Itali GTO and it handles pretty phenomenally. And the performance generally is, well, it's extremely impressive, all things considered, because on the expanded and enhanced edition, which I'm playing right here, this vehicle is competing in the sports category with actual HSW cars, which is pretty nuts. And despite you know, its competition being HSW and having super high top speeds, the Itali GTO can still kind of hold its own. I believe that the Itali GTO, as according to Bruffy1322, around his track at least, I believe that the Itali GTO is almost as fast as the Karin S95, and there is something to be said for the Itali GTO in corners is where this thing really shines, versus in a straightaway versus something like the Karin S95 with the HSW upgrade. This thing will lose because it doesn't have that high of a top speed, but in the corners the Karin S95 cannot hold a candle to the Itali GTO. This thing is way more impressive in the corners than the Karin S95. Of course, as I'm saying that, I crash into that sign, my bad. But trust me when I say the Itali GTO really is fantastic in these corners. Like, I'm just getting used to the car on the controller, but I think once I get this thing dialed in a little bit, you know, I'm gonna be putting down some lap times for sure whenever I go to use this thing in sports class races. The car handles really well. It does have some advanced handling flags, but they actually work to the car's advantage. For example, if you guys know what curb boosting is, basically it's when you're on a racetrack, you go on and off of the curb over and over again, and for some reason with this car, that makes it accelerate harder. I don't understand how that works, but it's a thing. And the Itali GTO loves bumps. If you get this thing going over a bunch of, you know, bumpy road, it's gonna start accelerating like crazy. Like, you would not believe how much faster it will be if you're on bumps with the Itali GTO. And that makes it one of the more interesting cars, because it's got an advantage that a lot of other cars do not really have. And I think that also is interesting because it puts a little bit more of a skill gap on Itali GTOs, because if you're really good at controlling the car over bumps and over kind of rougher terrain and stuff like that, and if you can keep a handle on the car, you're going to do way better than a person who can't. So I think it's really interesting. I know a lot of people don't really love how this car handles. I personally am not one of those people, but I can see where people are coming from with that accusation against the GTO. Sort of. It is a harder car to understand how to drive it, I would say. But when you do fully understand how to drive it and everything, it truly becomes, you know, well, arguably the best sports car in Grand Theft Auto Online, especially for racing. As a free mode vehicle, this will get you around super fast. It's super satisfying to drive, nice handling, great acceleration. Like I said, the top speed is it's okay. It's not the greatest thing ever, but you know, it's far from the worst in the sports category, that's for sure. And if you get curb boosting, you can really start flying with this thing. So overall, the Itali GTO is an absolutely fantastic car. I would recommend picking it up while it is on sale this week. If you don't, you might regret it at a later date, especially when it comes to racing. You know, if you guys plan on doing some sort of racing at any point, and you're going to be racing in the sports category, you would be mistaken to not use the Itali GTO as far as I'm concerned. Unless you have access to the HSW cars like the Karin S95. On certain tracks that will be better if they're long straightaways and not that many corners, but if it's a corner heavy track, the GTO is going to dominate. So just keep that in mind, guys. This car is really good, and for its sale price, which I believe is 1.3 mil right now, it's kind of a steal. You should pick this thing up while it's on sale. If you guys are watching this in the future and the car is not on sale, I'd say, you know, pick it up still. It's a great car, even at full price. It's like $1.9 million at full price, and even that is a fair price for this car, in my opinion. So anyway, guys, that is pretty much all I have to say about the Grotti Itali GTO in Grand Theft Auto Online. If you guys enjoyed this video, a like is of course appreciated. If not, dislike. Subscribe to the channel if you guys are new, and I will see you all in the next video. Until then, take care. Peace.